Hey everyone, Jim Fitzpatrick. Thanks so much for joining me in another edition of CBT Now. President Trump signed an executive order in January aimed at accelerating AI development. Some say that opens doors, or this opens doors to growth, and others are concerned about the pace of change. Joining us now with her perspective on this and what it could mean for the automotive industry moving forward is Lauren Fix. Automotive expert and founder of Car Coach Reports. I've said it before, folks. I'll say it again. If you don't subscribe to Car Coach Reports, you're doing yourself a huge injustice. So right after our performance here today, you need to go to Car Coach Reports. Check them out. You can thank me later. So Lauren, thank you so much for joining us on the show. Once again, very much appreciate it. Some believe that, that the changes could speed up innovation, while others worry that removing requirements might impact public trust. What's your take on this trade-off?
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, it depends how you're looking at it. So part of this is AI and part of it is AV, autonomous vehicles.
Yeah.
So for those who are keeping score, it's Executive Order 14179. It's called Removing Barriers to American Leadership in Artificial Intelligence. But part of that is autonomous vehicles.
Yeah.
So when people think, oh, robotaxis, we have to take a bigger picture at this. I mean, I have been saying for a long time, I don't think we're truly going to see autonomous vehicles on the roadway. And part of that is AI. It's a partnership. Taking away the barriers that the Biden administration put in place makes sense. Allow people to develop this stuff. However, the government has never made any regulations. So as of today, if you want to buy, or you can't buy, if you want to ride in an autonomous vehicle, you can. California, Austin, Texas with the Robotaxi, Arizona, that's a possibility. And when you get your Uber, your Lyft, or whatever service you use, you can click, I want an autonomous vehicle or I don't. So I decided to take one just because I had to experience this, because that's one of those things.
Sure.
I was in San Francisco. So I said, all right, it's an Uber. We're just going to go cross town. Just go to some place, get something to eat or whatever, and come back. So I got in the vehicle and everything was fine. It's really creepy. You get in the back seat of a vehicle with no one behind the steering wheel.
That's going to take some getting used to.
It's an amusement ride. You have to kind of, if you put it in your head as an amusement ride, I think you're okay. But if you think this is like, I don't know. But the problem is these autonomous vehicles have a lot of issues. Someone puts a pylon on the road, it doesn't expect that. Anything that wouldn't be understood by AI, essentially, for a computer to go, oh, this road has always been one way this way, and they decide to make it another way because of traffic, or maybe there's construction that wasn't noted somewhere, and they've already had autonomous vehicles go into wet concrete, hit emergency vehicles, driving the wrong way. I mean, there's a million things, because it doesn't see things like you as a human. You make decisions every day going, there's someone on the road, or I need to go this way, or that's a bad idea.
So with that knowledge, you still felt it was okay to get in the back of one?
Well, my brain was telling me otherwise, so I went for a short distance. It was okay for a while until it started raining, which happens. It's weather.
Of course.
They say you can control it. That's a whole other story. But I figured, all right, but it started raining. It pulled over, 4 ways flashing. They got a note on the screen saying a manned Uber driver will come meet you. So you sit in the car and you wait. Another Uber driver comes up next. You get out, get into the next vehicle, and go to your destination. I thought, so I live in Buffalo. When it snows, which even though that's the only job you can't be fired for being wrong literally every day, is being a weather person. I mean, you're in Atlanta. The Weather Channel is there. They can only make guesses. Yeah, but still, tomorrow it's raining, and you're like, I didn't bring an umbrella because they said not to, but you can't be 100% sure all the time.
Right.
If you could predict that, you might as well play the stock market. But those are the kind of things that are a challenge. So weather is always going to be a challenge. And so that means you have to go back to a manned driver. So what are we doing here? That cost me longer time. It actually is more expensive to say I want a autonomous vehicle versus a regular manned vehicle. But again, if you're thinking about safety and you're a female, maybe you want an autonomous vehicle, but there's a lot of factors involved that it doesn't understand what you and I understand, and it never will.
Yeah.
So besides no government regulations, and that does need to be put into place. I know that Lee Zeldin is talking about doing that, as well as with Sean Duffy. They're all planning on putting all kinds of rules in place to make it safer. So now we have an insurance company problem, not just the insurance companies. They're like, whose fault is this? Is it your fault? I was in the back seat. I didn't do anything. but you're in the car, they don't know. So is it the manufacturer? Is it the software? And there's a lot of factors involved. So the insurance companies don't like this at all, although you'd think they would. And the people that insure them, the reinsurance companies, really don't like this because this could be really expensive. And we've already had a death in an Uber, if you remember, back in Arizona.
Yep.
So nobody wants to be responsible for that.
No.
So those three things are kind of obvious: insurance, government regulations, and weather. The big one that no one's talking about is hackers. That's a problem. We've already seen hackers in Teslas, Jeeps, everything. They can access your center screen and your data with not much effort. And if you're one of those people that say, I'm going to save money with my insurance company by getting those little dongles and plugging it into the onboard diagnostics, you have literally opened yourself up to anyone that could have access to your center screen.
Wow.
And it's gotten really, really bad lately, even to like your phone. So your phone is connected to your car. Your phone can be hacked literally from a car sitting next to you. A friend of mine was in Manhattan in a cab. He got a notification that there was a purchase on his phone, and he thought, this is weird. And he called his wife, and she said, yeah, I didn't buy anything. She goes, I'm not even anywhere near my phone, like to buy something.
Yeah.
So he declined it, but it was in the car next to him. When he looked over, there were kids buying things off his phone. They were able to attach to it.
Wow.
So so that's already happening. So if you've got hackers as simple as purchasing something on your phone that you didn't buy to accessing your center screen, there needs to be some pretty serious firewalls up before you say, go out there and buy one. I mean, there's a lot of pluses to autonomous vehicles. If you're disabled, you need to get somewhere, you can't do it for whatever reason, medical reasons, this is a great solution. However, in the bigger picture, it doesn't make sense. And the reason that they have actually been able to do this since 2009. So in 2009, I was in an Audi. We rode from Palo Alto to Las Vegas for the Consumer Electronics Show in autonomous cars. We got to the border of California and Nevada. They got out, they changed license plates because each state has their own regulations. And then we continued the drive. It was the most unique experience, but you couldn't touch the steering wheel unless it asked you to, but in the passenger seat was an engineer. So they really monitored it, but they've already got it up Pikes Peak by the year after that. So as of today, yes, you could do autonomous cars. But until we get through all these hurdles, it doesn't make sense. So how do you do that? So this is why President Trump put this executive order in place to say, let's advance this technology. I am very concerned about AI. We've become so reliant on wanting a quick answer just as a culture.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you and I remember microwaves coming out and we're like, yes, this is amazing.
That's right.
I can make dinner like that. And now we all stand in front of the microwave going, come on, this is just too slow.
Exactly. Yeah. It's taking too long.
Right. And part of that is like Instagram, because can you give it to me in 160 characters? Can you tell me everything I need to know in a caption? But you can't. And that's why we're having this conversation, because this is not a captionable answer. So it's really important that when you think about what really is the new standards for AI, and believe me, for autonomous vehicles, it has changed. So the Society of Automotive Engineers, which I am a member, has changed to 6 different steps. The standard 5, which is what most brands are still using, is 0. No automation. There's no, you've got your usual anti-lock brakes and so forth. There's no vehicle alerting you what's going on around you.
Okay.
So pretty much that's an older car. Level 1 is driver assistance systems that turn on lights, say, hey, there's someone in your blind spot. We've all seen that.
Yeah.
Level 2, most brands are still at level 2, which is partial automation. The vehicle can steer it like, a perfect example would be like like a Super Cruise that's got 750,000 miles of roads mapped around the world, and it can change lanes. I mean, people like that. So I personally rather drive, but that's only level 2.
Right.
And only Mercedes-Benz is testing what is qualified as level 3. So even though Tesla says, oh, we're full self-driving, really it's not. They're calling it like a test area, like a beta test in order to bypass the rules.
Okay.
It is concerning. And there have been, recently there was a lawsuit that went through in Florida. I believe it was like $39 million. It was a lot of money.
Wow.
That Tesla had to pay out because someone died.
Ooh.
So while it all sounds great on the surface, nobody wants to put themselves or the people around them to a level 5 with no pedals, no steering wheel, and you just get in a pod and go. Fine on a college campus, a controlled downtown area.
Yeah.
But I'm not into the amusement ride. If you want to do that, you can go to Disney.
So when you took the ride in San Francisco, you took it to the restaurant, and was that enough, or did you also take it back?
No, I walked back.
You walk back. Okay.
It's crazy there, you're probably better. I decided not to take the man. It was raining lightly, and I just figured, you know what? If it can't drive in light rain, because the light obviously reflects. So you've got a water drop, and if the light reflects off of it, it's not going to be able to read lidar, radar, any of those great
Oh
cameras.
my God.
Can't see clearly.
Jesus
So
Christ.
for you and I,
Yeah.
yeah, we put on the wipers, we turn on our headlights, and you pay more attention to the roadway. And like I said, I live in Buffalo, and I've driven in a lot of snowy. I'm from Detroit, so I've driven in all the snow and all the icky weather. And you really pay more attention when the weather turns ugly. But a car can't do that
Right.
if it's just computers. It needs,
Right.
and that's where AI may be great for ChatGPT or Grok or whatever you use. But I don't think the world is ready for this. It sounds great on the surface if you want to
Yeah.
be an early adapter.
Well,
But I
and
also think, like robotaxis,
and
they're
then
not perfect.
how does it address where, let's say the speed limit on the highway is 55 miles an hour, but nobody's going 55 miles an hour? I understand that the
Yeah.
car will not accelerate because of the fact that that would be breaking the law, and they can't
Correct.
build that into the car. But you can get run over if you're on a lot of, especially here in Atlanta, where it
Oh,
might
yeah.
say 55, but everybody's going 75 without a problem.
Yes, I have been to downtown Atlanta
Yeah.
many a times.
Yeah.
And when traffic is moving along, you have to move with it. Or
Right.
even if you're in the low speed lane, people are beeping their horns.
Oh,
Come on, get out of the way.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll get killed.
Right. And so that's the problem. You have to go with the flow of traffic. That's very common in Canada as well. And so when you start thinking about the real world situation, I mean, even here in Buffalo, if I'm going downtown, which is a rarity, traffic is moving along. It says 50 miles an hour. Nobody is doing 50 miles an hour.
Right.
And I think
Right.
that you put someone at risk going too slow or going too fast.
That's right.
Based on conditions could be a problem. So it doesn't understand. Also, many parts of the country, you'll have like Texas, for example, you could have a sandstorm go across the highway. It'll have to stop. I mean, imagine if you need to get in your vehicle and go someplace, somebody needs your support, your help, and it says, I can't go because the weather's bad. It's like, no, I need to go. Too bad.
Yeah,
There's
that's
no
not gonna
steering
work.
wheel, there's
Right.
no pedals. You're on your own. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Call a cab. And that's the problem is, unless every single vehicle on the road is autonomous, that's the only way it's going to work. And I can't see that happening with the millions of cars that are on the road. And as long as people are holding older cars, even if you started the transition today, 20, 30 years from now, you're still going to have cars on the road that people are driving.
That's right.
And people
That's right.
make mistakes,
there's
and so
over
do computers.
300 million, cars right now.
Right.
Yeah. It's
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of problems here, and why on the surface it sounds wonderful. I think we need to be very cautious, and I understand the mindset of trying to get ahead because the Chinese will do it because they don't look at things the same way we do. Yeah.
What if you had to pick one, what's one opportunity you think the industry should lean into right now?
Well, I think helping people be safer on the road is good, but I also think you shouldn't give up learning.
Yeah.
I think the industry as a whole needs a lot of better drivers out there. A lot of people aren't paying attention. It's gotten much worse since COVID. I think there's this whole new attitude on the roadway. I'm sure I'm not alone in saying that. I hear it every day from people. But this AI can help in some ways, selling cars, buying cars,
Sure.
what needs to be done to your vehicle. That kind of stuff makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But you never want to miss that human connection. And there are some jobs that can't be replaced by AI. And that would be obviously working on a car,
Yeah.
collision work. That's got to be done with people's hands.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
honestly, I don't like the disconnect of buying something from a computer, like
Yeah.
a car. I want to actually talk to a salesperson. I want to drive the car and get the experience. And I think that's something that people have to remember, that whole relationship. And I've got a lot of people asking me these questions, what's the best way to handle it? I said, just be honest, make it a business relationship. And I think then consumers find it more comforting than a computer, which is not warm and fuzzy and certainly not friendly and won't shake your hand and look in your eyes and
That's right.
say, how can I actually help you? How
That's
can I
right.
get you into the right vehicle? And I think that makes a big difference.
I couldn't agree more. No question about it. I think there is a place for AI. It's a great tool, but it's not a replacement and a cure-all for everything automotive, for sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree 100%. And I think that people need to be aware of that. I just put out an article on my Car Coach Reports, and I believe it's also on CBT News on why dealers are important, because they are important.
Yeah.
And where everyone thinks, oh, cut out the middleman, Hey, listen, if you buy something on Amazon, it's already going through a middleman. They're a supply chain,
right.
and dealers are a supply chain as well. And they're a big part of local communities. And people need to remember that you need those local dealers. They're the one when you need, jerseys for your kid's soccer team, they're going to get involved.
No
They're going to
question
help.
about it. That's
And it's
right.
jobs and it's the economy and it affects everything. So I'm a big supporter of the dealers. And I think that people need to realize that when you buy a car from Tesla, you're just buying from a computer. There's no human connection.
No, and you're not helping your local community in any way, right? So
Correct.
yeah, for sure.
Very important.
Lauren Fix, automotive expert and founder of Car Coach Reports. We're showing all the information right here on the screen. Folks, you can thank me later, but subscribe to Car Coach Reports. I'm telling you, I'm doing you a favor here. So Lauren, thank you so much. Really appreciate it whenever you come in. It's great.
Thank you.
If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe for more videos like this, and check out our car review channel, Car Smarts. You can support me by buying me a cup of coffee, and if you want even more content, check out the links in the description. I'm Lauren Fix. Thank you so much for watching.